What is there not to praise about Puss in Boots: The Last Wish? If you told me that the 11-year-old sequel to a Shrek spin-off series would be in contention for Best Picture of the Year and be one of the best animated films in the past 20 years, I would have, well, not believed you. But that's exactly what this movie turned out to be, and it was all thanks to the masterful animating, writing, directing, cinematography, editing, composing, and voice acting. Although this whole movie was a pleasant surprise, there was one character in particular that was actually much better than I thought he was going to be. Oh, wait. Okay, yeah, aside from the coolest character in all of fiction, there was another character that was also much better than I originally thought he was going to be. And that was Perrito. Usually, the annoying, over-attached sidekick character in a movie ends up just being that, annoying. But Perrito somehow takes this normally bothersome cliche and morphs it into something unique and refreshing, and ends up being a really well-written character that the audience cares about. So how did he do it? Why does Perrito actually pull off the annoying sidekick role when so many before him have failed? That's exactly what we're going to be looking at today, and as per usual, I'm going to break down my character study into 3 categories: aiding character growth, tone appropriateness, and likable qualities. Make sure to leave a like and subscribe if you enjoyed the video, and don't forget to hit that bell to stay notified whenever I drop a new one. Without further ado, let's get into the video. The first category might be the most important one. Perrito is a catalyst for character growth throughout the film. When he first meets Puss in the cat lady's house, Puss still separates himself from others and reflects on the times where he walked alone as everyone's favorite fearless hero. As Puss begins his journey to regain his lives through the power of the wishing star, Perrito accompanies him, and slowly, through persistence and genuine care for Puss, Perrito, along with Kitty Softpaws, begins to make Puss reevaluate his desire to live alone as a fearless legend. A great example of this can be found in one of the most touching scenes of the movie, where Puss is having a panic attack. Perrito runs after him, and even though he can't think of anything to say, he decides to just be with Puss in his moment of anxiety, laying his head on Puss's lap. This act of genuine kindness and concern for Puss then convinces Puss to open up to Perrito about his character flaw of pushing everyone away, and Perrito gives Puss advice on how to change for the better by swallowing his arrogant pride and apologizing to Kitty. There are plenty of other instances of Perrito helping Puss grow as a character, such as at the end, right before Puss's final encounter with the wolf, Perrito causes him to realize the value of just one life and how sharing it with those you love is what makes it special, which ultimately is what ends up helping Puss defeat the foe he lost to at the beginning of the movie. And it's not just Puss, he even helps Kitty learn to trust in others through his unwavering positivity and kindness. Despite Perrito's annoying persistence, he aids Puss and Kitty along their journeys of becoming better people, significantly increasing his value to the movie. A lot of times, films will just have these annoying sidekicks only be utilized for comedic relief, which ends up creating a bland, forgettable, one-dimensional character that nobody likes. Sure, Perrito is used for comedy. That scene of him cussing out the 3 bears is absolutely hilarious, but comedy doesn't define his entire character. He has a role to fill in the movie, and it's not just to be funny, but rather it's to help other characters learn from their character flaws and grow. Perrito solidly fulfills this function and ends up being funny as well, and that's part of the reason why his character actually works in this film. The second aspect I'm analyzing is the way that Perrito remains tone appropriate throughout the film. One of the major flaws of a lot of comic relief sidekick characters is the fact that they'll tend to be tonally inconsistent with the rest of the film and ruin the gravity of a moment. There will be a super serious scene that has significant emotional tension for our main character, and then the annoying sidekick character will just act completely tone deaf and say some dumb joke or observation that takes the audience out of what should have been an intense scene. That's where Perrito is different. He is a realistic character that adapts his emotions depending on what situation he finds himself in. When he's hanging with Puss and Kitty on the way to the dark forest, he's lighthearted and funny, but when his friends are in danger or going through a crisis, he realistically puts away his humorous qualities and feels concerned or worried. Unlike so many annoying sidekicks, Perito doesn't hinder or contradict the tone of a scene, but rather enhances it. Being funny isn't a problem, but it becomes one if the humor ruins the emotional weight of a scene. A proper humorous sidekick doesn't just have to be funny all the time, but instead has to be funny at the right time. And Perito perfectly walks this line in a tone-appropriate way that doesn't subtract from the rest of the film. Moving on to my third point, likable qualities. Some of you may be wondering, okay, does this really count as a legitimate critical reason for why Perito's character works? Isn't this just like saying they do good things when describing a person that is nice? The reason why this is a legit aspect of how Perito pulls off the annoying sidekick character effectively is because that character type is very often devoid of likable qualities. So the fact that Perito has an abundance of them is outside the norm. When people think of overattached sidekicks that are supposed to be funny but end up falling flat, they almost always find them annoying. And that is because most of the time, when done incorrectly, these characters have all of the hyper energy and charismatic personality, but none of the charm and likability. However, Perito has qualities that endear his character to us. He genuinely cares for his friends. He has had an extremely rough upbringing, but has kept a positive mindset. He's funny and happy most of the time. He is just fun to watch. When Perito is on screen, he doesn't annoy the viewer like most comic relief sidekicks, but rather captivates them with his lovable personality. Sure, he has an annoying, nagging persistence to him, but it doesn't stem out of stupidity and tone deafness. Instead, it comes from his realistic desire to be loved and his deep care and love for his friends. And that sort of annoying overattachment is something that the audience can understand and get behind without hating every second the character is on screen. And that is why Perito actually works as an annoying, overattached sidekick. Usually, these kinds of characters in movies are almost never good, and before I watched Puss in Boots: The Last Wish, was almost sure that Perito was going to fall victim to the bad writing that most of these sidekicks get. But he was actually a very pleasant surprise, and definitely one of the strongest aspects of an incredible movie. This film subverted everyone's expectations, and the quality behind Perito's character was one of those subversions. Do you know who else from this film was way better than anyone originally thought they were going to be? The Wolf. And it just so happens that I have a character study analyzing why he was such an amazing antagonist. So if you want to check out that video, the link will be in the description, or you can find it on my channel. If you like this video, chances are you would thoroughly enjoy my other content, and I highly recommend subscribing and turning on notifications to stay informed on whenever I drop a new video. If you want to help me fulfill my dream of becoming a full-time content creator, then please spread this video around and put your friends on the quality content we got going on here at the channel. Regardless though, I appreciate you all. Don't forget to let me know what you thought in the comments, and I hope you enjoyed the video. I'll catch you all on the next one. Have a great day.